like so with like with regards to sort of the non-profit, like with the internships disappearing and everything like this, like because 2019 it looked like okay, everything was gangbusters, everything was going well. Like, what do you think? Like 2021, well, like I'm just saying, this year's a write-off at this present time because we are currently in November. Thanksgiving for you guys at the end of this week, and yeah, Christmas time from there. What do you think 2021 might hold? Do you think?
I think it really has a lot to do with the employers. Obviously, that's where the opportunity is. And I haven't just worked with college students. I've done grants for disadvantaged youth, military in transition, coming back into civilian career. It all comes down to the employer. And basically, for my program that I've run since '02 has been virtual.
Mm,
And now that's really where the pendulum has swung. And I am still doing trainings on virtual. I did one a couple weeks back for colleges to teach their career centers how to teach employers to do virtual internship programs. It really, and also, of course, I can't speak for knowing this worldwide, but I believe, internships certainly in Europe and Germany, Switzerland, here in the States, in a lot of cases, they're required to
mm,
earn your academic degree. So, it's cart and horse. How do you get that experience and get your degree if no one is offering the opportunity? So, I'm not really up to speed, honestly, on what the schools are doing to adapt to those requirements, but I do think the dust will settle
mm.
and that internships will be certainly for a while more along the lines of virtual. I mean, I've had interns I've never met. It's just kind of how it is. So that's a lot of what I've been teaching more recently is on the virtual programs.
Right. And this is the thing. I think with regards to next year, virtual programs as you were like teaching right now, I think that sort of I've I think there's been a little bit of a not so much a robbery, but I think a sort of holding back setback for quite a lot of youngsters coming back into it that for the next sort of 18 months they've had the pause button put on them and they've got no choice in the matter, which I think is a little bit hard, but it's the way the world is right now. um so how do you think the employer mark the employers will get back on it sort of straight away, or is it a case of they're waiting for grants and like funding from the government to come through?
I honestly don't know the answer. It's certainly a very relevant question. I just don't have the I'm doing what I've been doing more so since March. I don't really have my finger as much on the pulse with how things have changed with and in and around COVID. I think on a on a general basis, internships, apprenticeships by any other name happen one on one.
Mm,
It's really an individual relationship with a supervisor or a mentor. And a lot of what I train on is about creating that opportunity and for supervisors to recognize that there are many myths around providing these experiences, like it takes more time, it's not worth it, their kids, what can they do? um, we've got a lot of data on how a single supervisor can gain over 200 days of work productivity by doing it right. There's a certain way to do it right,
mm,
and there's a productivity multiplier. And while we're on topic, I'll just say, just at the very heart of it all, if a supervisor takes inventory of projects, and we provide menus for this and everything else just to take the think work and heavy lifting out of it, and they can recognize that, wow, now I've taken this inventory, I have a defined need. Most companies, individuals, they need help with social media and content development. And, it's just cuts across the board. And by specialized industry, they'll see straight up, wow, I could really use or maybe use is not quite the right word, benefit from
mm.
having a young person or even a military person who's coming out of the service. or disadvantaged youth, for example, to come in and help with this.
Mm,
And that also, that defined need is also going to be something that they can rely on to write their recruiting descriptions. They now know who they need and what skills they need to do the projects they've defined. And then you want to have multiple interns so that in working off of that core content of projects that you're going to delegate, well, someone might be better at writing. Someone might be better. This other person's better at social media and behind the scenes, in front of, forward facing. So you know who to delegate what project to, and to the other person. And that's really what's at the heart of it, because now you're really customizing the experience for the person and the work that they want to do. You're leveraging the skills and that they have to provide to have the most quality work and value. And it's a win. It's an all around win. So it really is just a matter of doing it right. And quite honestly, in my recent podcast episodes, I've covered this topic extensively, both on the employer side and now for the student side, which is also specific to job seekers. The mechanics and
mm.
the techniques of finding an internship and finding a job, very much the same.